Marcus Aurelius liked to be remembered as a philosopher, a man who ruled an empire while meditating on virtue. But here's what the textbooks don't linger on. What happened after Rome won? Not the battles, not the strategies, the aftermath. The part where the noise stops and the real power begins. Imagine it's 272 CE, just outside Antioch. Zenobia has been defeated, her army shattered by Roman legions. Her generals expect death, a clean end, a soldier's fate. That's not what Rome specialized in. Rome perfected something far more effective, breaking people without killing them. And if you were a woman who wore a crown, it was worse, because under Roman law, defeat erased personhood. Once your city fell, once your army surrendered, you were no longer human in the eyes of the state. You became property. The Romans called it ius gentium, the law of nations, a refined phrase for a brutal reality. Yesterday, a queen. Today, an object. Roman citizens still had rights. They couldn't be beaten publicly without scandal. They couldn't be executed without trial. Foreign captives? Nothing. No protection. No limits. The 12 Tables made it explicit centuries earlier. Prisoners of war belonged to Rome, or to the soldiers who captured them, divided like treasure. And royal women? Their crowns meant nothing once the chains went on. Tacitus wrote about this without flinching. He described defeated rulers, once commanders of armies, reduced deliberately, publicly, without hesitation. Rome didn't just conquer territory. It conquered identity. Then came the triumph. The parade, Rome's favorite weapon. A victorious general petitions the Senate. Permission granted. The route stretches nearly 4 kilometers, from the Field of Mars through the Forum up to Capitoline Hill. This wasn't celebration. It was theater. First, the musicians. Then the displays, paintings of conquered cities, models of distant lands Romans would never see. Exotic animals dragged through the streets, proof that even the unknown had been subdued. And then, the prisoners. Captured kings, captured queens, often left in full royal dress. Why? Because humiliation works best with contrast. A woman who once commanded armies, now shuffling in chains while crowds jeer. A crown still on her head, only now it mocks her. The message was unmistakable. No throne is too high. No kingdom too far. Rome will reach you. For royal women, the triumph meant hours of exposure. Thousands of eyes stripping away dignity piece by piece. And the uncertainty. Would they survive the day? Some didn't. That fear was intentional. Zenobia's story didn't end at capture. Aurelian defeated her in 272 CE. 2 years later, he celebrated his triumph. According to the Historia Augusta, Zenobia was dressed in jewels so brilliant they reflected the sun, a walking monument to Rome's dominance over Eastern wealth. But the chains drew the most attention. Not iron, gold, so heavy that attendants had to help carry them. The wealth she once commanded had become the instrument of her bondage. And yet, she walked with composure. That may have saved her. Instead of execution, Aurelian spared her, gave her a villa near Rome. Some say she married into Roman aristocracy, her daughters absorbed into noble families. Mercy? Or a quieter kind of domination? She lived on, not as a ruler, but as evidence. A living reminder that Rome could reduce even queens to dependence. Now go back further. Britain. 60 CE. Boudica's husband dies. He leaves his kingdom split, half to Rome, half to his daughters. He thought compromise might save them. It didn't. Roman officials seized everything. When Boudica protested, they made an example of her. Tacitus records it plainly. She was publicly beaten. Not discreetly, not privately, publicly. Her daughters were assaulted, acts Tacitus could barely bring himself to describe. This wasn't chaos. It was policy, a message written on royal bodies. But Rome miscalculated. Instead of submission, it sparked revolt. Boudica raised an army, burned Roman cities to the ground. Tens of thousands died. And when defeat finally came, she refused to become a trophy. She chose her own ending. Poison. Her daughters vanished from history, their silence permanent. Back in Rome, triumphs ended near a final destination. The Mamertine prison. A 2-level dungeon beneath the Capitoline Hill. Condemned prisoners were taken aside, while crowds celebrated above. Lowered through a hole. Left in darkness. Execution without spectacle. Vercingetorix endured 6 years of captivity before being paraded, then killed. Jugurtha was starved in the dungeon. Plutarch records his final, delirious words, asking how cold the Roman bath was. Not all captives died immediately. Some were more useful alive. Symbols last longer than corpses. And that's the truth Rome understood. Law ended at conquest. Dignity ended at defeat. The golden chains. The public beatings. The triumphs and executions. These weren't excesses. They were strategy. And the stone walls of the Mamertine prison still stand today. When you visit them, remember, Rome's glory was built as much on humiliation as on victory.